Hi again, everyone. So welcome back. And I also wanted to say a couple things. So since my channel is about communication, I wanted to communicate first how sorry I am about not having a video up last week and about my inconsistency. I know that's not favorable for YouTube and most likely not favorable for most people and subscribers. So I do want to apologize for that. I've had a lot of changes in my life, a lot of things happening, as we all have, and we can all relate to. So I just have not been able to put the energy and effort towards this right now. However, with that being said, I want to say that I know my channel is about communication, and a lot of what I have been communicating has had to do with the civil rights movements that are spurring and different things like that that are going on socially, economically, and so on and so forth in the world right now. However, one thing I realized is, you know, when it comes to communication, there's all sorts of types of communication. And one thing that I am realizing, and my family we're realizing, is that the earth and Mother Nature and our environment are also trying to communicate something to us. And we are very lucky and fortunate to have access to land, and not necessarily many people do, but that doesn't mean you can't still have a garden and different things like that. However, for us, we're really focusing on livestock. So as you can see behind me, we had just got some pigs recently. We do have cows in a pasture farther away and some chickens. So we have been doing some of this farming for a little while, but now we're really trying to go from kind of a homestead model to maybe farmstead or marketing. And eventually we'll get there, but right now the biggest thing that we're focusing on is what Mother Nature is trying to say and what we can do as inhabitants here to make her happy and make her better. Because yes, there is a lot going on, and I support the Black Lives Matter movement. I support minorities, those disenfranchised. However, without a world to stand on, without an environment suitable to maintain our livelihood, nothing like that really, not that it doesn't matter, it absolutely does matter. But if we don't have a world together, then we might not be here to fight, you know? So one thing that me and my family are trying to do and are set up to do is be able to farm, be able to reintroduce soils and nutrients and different things into Mother Nature, and just try to build it back up and get back to our roots. And I think that's a common theme among everything that we're seeing right now. And so I'm happy to be part of it in that way. And then I also realized that my channel on YouTube really isn't set up for the conversations that need to happen and that I want to happen, because I tend to be a long-winded person, and I feel that the conversations that we need to be having can't be summed up in 12 minutes, in 15 or 30 minutes. They are much longer. And so I really want to get a podcast, so that way, and do a podcast so that way I can focus on those things through my podcast, and be able to entertain an audience that wants a little more depth. Not that YouTube isn't a platform for that, but generally it seems as though the most success happens when you have smaller, shorter videos. So one of the other things I want to communicate is that I will be switching this platform, which again I know isn't necessarily favorable, and also might put me at a disadvantage. But really, I spend a lot of my time out here doing this with the pigs, doing everything you see here. And this is just a small snapshot of what that looks like. So I'm outside. We're trying to embody the permaculture philosophy. We're trying to help provide something more sustainable for ourselves and our neighbors, because this is something we are all in together. It's not individual, although as Americans we are taught and raised that things are singular, things are individual, and so we don't think of things in the collective as a beehive, as one mind. And so for me, coming out here and trying to connect with Mother Nature allows me to really understand where people are coming from, and what we're trying to do as a human race, because we are all humans. So as I said before, this will be transitioning into a more of a farm homestead channel, communicating to you folks about what we're trying to do here, why it's important to us, and just communicate what farming is like. And especially if you're someone like myself, who I'm not someone who hasn't been around farms or anything like that. I mean, I'm not scared of it, but I certainly have never myself lived on or owned a farm. And so to now be in a position where we're really transitioning into this lifestyle, full blown. And I say that because we've been here for 3 years now, and really we have made the most progress this year than we have in the past years. And so we're really dedicated to this, and we really do want to show people the kinds of ways that you can go beyond the conventional styles that we learn. And so without going into it too much and providing you with some long, exhausted video, again, I just want to say that I am still dedicated to the civil rights movements that's happening, to providing context, providing interviews, understanding and listening, because that's a huge part of it. Although we can speak, sometimes that's a really great thing to be able to do, but with speaking comes listening. And as I tell my son, think of it like a light switch. When someone is speaking, maybe you turn your listening ears on and you shut your speaking voice off until there's a pause or there's a break, and then you switch. So listening is huge. And right now, me and my family are trying to listen to the land, trying to listen to Mother Nature, trying to listen to our pigs and to our cows and to our chickens and to our dogs, and listen to what it is that they need, what they're trying to say, and providing a sustainable life for us, but also a sustainable life for, our animals, for our ecological system that we're trying to build here. So anyway, without ranting on too much, I just again wanted to say I appreciate everyone who is subscribed to my video. I apologize for my inconsistency, and I am looking forward to transitioning this channel into something that is more sustainable as far as my own time management, and what I can do as far as promote our farm, promote our ideas and philosophies and ideologies, but still stay true to that passion I have about communication. But as I said before, there are so many ways to communicate, and this is one way that we have found we are communicating and being communicated to. I went to a Black Lives Matter rally, and it was amazing. It was peaceful, it was respectful, and communication came in all shapes and sizes. There were people who were painting, and they had a little sign that said they weren't going to answer questions or take photos, because the photos, the pictures, the paintings they were making should have spoken for themselves. And that's how I took it, and I respected that. There wasn't actual speaking, but the paintings provided words. There were poems, there were songs, there was music, there was speech, there were all sorts of ways people express themselves, and we see it every day. And so this is one way in which expression and communication happens. And we are excited to jump in and take on what this will look like. So again, folks, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. And I'm excited for the new chapter of this channel. And as I said before, I will do podcasts. I can't promise that's going to start right away. I will continue to do interviews and different things like that. I plan on having kind of a little side bit that's linked into the channel here, that is focusing on some of these things we're dealing with locally, nationally, globally. You know, civil rights, that's a huge thing, and I very much am into what that is, because we all should be as humans. You know, here on the farm, I have to think about the civil rights of my animals, you know, their rights, what, you know, the kind of life they want to live and the kind of life I want to provide for them. You know, they're amazing machines and amazing beings, sentient beings, and we should respect them. And that's something we're learning here. And it goes for the rest of mankind, or womankind, or humankind, or people kind. Human beings should have respect for each other. And sometimes that's really hard to do, because there are people out there who don't provide that same respect. And sometimes being the bigger person is what will push us through. And so, anyway, that's a whole nother rant. But like I said, I just wanted to communicate to my followers that this is going to be a channel still about communication, but just in a different way and a little more specified. So thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful day.